Hello YouTube, what's up? This is Boba7772, and today I'm doing a review of the new Star Wars canon novel, Heir to the Jedi, by Kevin Hearne, and without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, this was originally going to be one of the, I say quote, legends unquote books, just because it was originally going to be the third part of a trilogy that pretty much followed the one of the big three, Han, Leia, and Luke, in first person. This was, it was like Leia first, Han second, and Luke third. However, with the whole Disney redoing all the canon things, they decided to make Heir to the Jedi an actual canon novel instead of, you know, just canceling it altogether. So, Heir to the Jedi is one of the only, and the first-person novel for the new canon, and it's one of the only first-person novels throughout the entire Star Wars book history. So pretty much first person is just tells it from the point of view of Luke the entire time, doesn't switch to any other character. So we get to have a really good long journey with Luke in this book. Now, though Luke is the main protagonist, we do have a few other characters. The other, I guess you could say, main supporting characters, there are 4 total, including Luke. So one of them is R2-D2. So, you know, we know 2 of the 4, Luke and R2, which R2 is on the back here too. And then the next one is this chick named Nakari. Now, I have a picture of her on my phone. I'll show you guys real quick, because they showed an official image of this character in one of the Star Wars Insiders, and it's really cool. She kind of reminds me of a Zeltron, though she is a human. I guess it's just the lighting and everything, making her skin look pink and hair look blue, but so that is what she looks like. Really cool. And then so she is a human female, and then the last you know, major character in this book is a given, and her name, I believe, is Drusilla. I may be saying that wrong, but and I'm really bad with names, guys, so I apologize in advance. But so Drusilla is a given, and in the old canon, givens pretty much communicated by math. And we're first introduced to this in the book by after Luke and Nakari are given their mission to go find Drusilla. Leia and 3PO come up to Luke and start to explain how the given greet each other by simple math equations. And with outside species, the answer is usually 3 whenever they, you know, the given ask outside species, so as I guess not to insult the outside species. But it's really cool that they actually gave, I guess you could say, the given backstory. The lore from the legends of the given is implemented into this new canon. And given were canon anyway, because there was a given in the Mos Eisley Cantina in episode 4. So that is pretty cool. They're pretty much like the skull creatures. You guys should look them up on Wikipedia, just to, if you guys don't know what they look like, because they look really cool. So pretty much those are the main characters we have in this book. I'll kind of do an overview of the plot for real quick. So I guess the main plot of this book was Luke and Nakari have to go find this given named Drusilla, and they have to deliver her to her family safely on this planet, which I completely forgot the name of, but it's a dangerous planet. And there is this, I guess, higher up dude in the rebellion who is actually in episode 5, he's one of the people on the Hoth base. He went to go secure Drusilla's family and bring them there safely, while Luke and Nakari had to go get Drusilla. And then it just pretty much followed their adventures through the Empire and through bounty hunters and with all this stuff. So I guess just going over real quick, the first part that I found of interest was Luke went to Rhodia to check out weapons. He went and Nakari shipped the Desert Jewel, which I guess was a cool ship, but I don't think it was too advanced, really, because I think it was more made for speed and not fighting. So Luke took that to Rhodia, met with this Rhodian. He pretty much let it slip that he's a Jedi. She brought him to this tomb of her, I think it was her uncle, and gave him this lightsaber. And I do believe, and I'm not 100% sure because this was never confirmed, but I do believe that the lightsaber that the Rodian gave Luke is the green one that he had in episode 6. Once again, not sure, but that'd make a lot of sense, because Luke pretty much disassembles this lightsaber and doesn't know how to put it back together, like right after he gets it, but he still has a lightsaber, so there is that. We still have the lightsaber. I don't know if they're going to bring that up in future lore, or if that is the one in episode 6, but if it is, that's a really cool nod. So next, him and Nakiri have to pretty much go to this planet for Nakiri's father of these, I guess, alien species who will cut a hole in your head and eat your brains out. So it'll pretty much kill you, and Nakiri's father runs this big corporation. He's not a fan of the Empire, so he's willing to give Luke some money, Luke and Nakiri some money. Let me position this camera a bit better. If they can go, you know, kind of secure the, I want to say cargo. Pretty much a cargo they have to secure is aliens that they either bring back dead or alive. They decide to bring them back dead because it'd be very dumb to bring them back alive. And then I guess kind of a side objective is if they can find any of his men who he sent there in the first place, then bring them back and whatnot, which they did, and all of them were dead pretty much, I think, except for one dude. So they went and did that. They got some money, outfitted the ship, and then went on all these adventures through the galaxy. And we get a lot of character development with both Luke and Nakiri, which I really liked, and I was really hoping that Nakiri would become, how do I say it, like one of the new main, I don't want to say expanded universe because all the canon is equal now according to the Star Wars people. I'm kind of thinking of it like Halo's canon, to where it's all equal, but I guess a book slash comic character slash game, you know, a character who isn't in the big movie slash TV show type thing. So I was hoping that Nakiri would become one of those, because she was a really cool character. Unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. Spoiler alert, she ends up dying. And how she ends up dying is one of the most anticlimactic deaths of a protagonist that I've ever seen. And while she was like the second main character of this book, and she was quite a main character, her death was just, and just kind of to insert this in here before I go over it, this may have been because I got to the point in the book to where I was just so pumped, and I was almost to the end, so I was just speed reading through it. I was still taking everything in, but I was just like, I wasn't going slow like I did at first, because as you can see, it took me forever to read this book, but at first I went really slow reading it, and I really liked that pace, but as it got more exciting, I went faster and read it faster, so that may have been part of the reason that it was so anticlimactic. Sorry, had to sneeze there. So that may have been one of the reasons that it was so, like, anticlimactic, but pretty much what happens is, at the end of the book, the Desert Jewel gets shot down by these bounty hunters on the planet that they're bringing Drasul to. So they all have to jump out of the ship, and they all go to this island. And R2 and Nakiri decide to go one direction, and Luke and Drasul decide to go the other direction. And I guess the look and the interaction between Luke and Nakiri kind of hints at it's probably going to be the last time they see each other, but, you know, I was still hopeful, so I kept reading, and what happened was they killed, like, all the bounty hunters except for one dude, and the one dude had a grenade launcher, and he, like, Nakiri was taking out all of them, like, she was so cool here, but the grenade launcher dude just, like, shot a couple shots up at her. Luke felt that her life had been extinguished in the Force. Well, I think that there was like a leaf or something in my mouth. I filmed these outside, by the way. So Luke felt that her life had been extinguished in the Force, realized she was dead, killed the bounty hunter who, like, only first appeared at this part, and then just got her body and left. Like, completed the mission, end of the book. But what that reminded me of was in The Walking Dead, the comic series. I guess, kind of spoiler alert, we've gotten this part on the TV show, so pretty much the same thing happens. But one of the major characters, a major villain, they end up killing off, but it was from this character who's never named before. And I don't have a problem with it now, because by the time I got into it, this character was never named, got like her own entire book series. So that's a good thing. But like, okay, so there's like 6 bounty hunters. Luke and Nakiri kill 5 of them, and then the 6th one kills Nakiri. Luke kills the 6th one. We know nothing about this bounty hunter other than his species, which I totally forgot what it was. But it was very anticlimactic and kind of disappointing, especially for a character that I like so much, because I really appreciated Nakiri's character. She was really smart in this book. She was really funny. She was just an all-around really cool character. I liked her quite a bit. She was one of my new favorite, I guess, new canon characters. But I'm like all the new canon characters who I'm liking in the book so far, they're killing off. First we have Skelly from A New Dawn, and now we have Nakiri from Heir to the Jedi. I mean, I really hope that they leave some characters to be, I guess, main characters in the book who they don't decide to put in the films or whatever. But anyway, I thought overall it was a really good book. A lot of people thought that it was not a bad book, but it was just kind of meh. Not boring, really, just meh. And while I can see why people would think that, I would have to disagree, largely because I thought that the most meh part of the book was, before I started reading it, was just, we already know what happens to Luke. This is set, less than 2 weeks after A New Hope ends. The author confirmed that because of this inconsistency with comics series and this book and blah, blah, blah. We figured out that this was within 2 weeks of A New Hope. So we know that Luke's gonna live. We know that nothing major is gonna happen to Luke. He's not gonna really get a major scar. He's not gonna get his hand cut off or anything like that, because he's in, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, a few years later, like 3 years later. So we know that everything is a-okay with Luke. The only characters we don't know about are Drusilla and Nakiri. And it was kind of disappointing in that factor, because we're like, okay, so Luke's gonna make it out of here without a scratch. There's like one part where Luke and Drusilla are running away from these guys in the gutters, and Drusilla gets out, and Luke is fighting these 2 guys off. They're more powerful than him, and he drops his lightsaber. He's like, oh no, now I'm gonna have to try to get out of here without my lightsaber. And we're like, well, we know he has his lightsaber because he has it in the next movie, so we can't lose it. So I'm like, okay, obviously he's going to go back down and get his lightsaber. And they're like in this thing where they're trying to escape the planet, so obviously it's either going to happen near the very end of the book, or it's going to happen like right now. And like, just as obviously anyone could tell, Nakiri came down and shot one of the dudes, and I think that Luke shot the other one or something, and Luke went back down. I think he was shot down. He grabbed his lightsaber. He had he got shot in the hand or something. I don't know, but it was just like, I guess, predictable. Like, from the beginning, you know how it's going to end. You know Luke's going to make it out okay, R2's going to make it out okay, and it's not really like, you're really reading this, I guess, for Drusilla and Nakiri, and one of them does make it out, which is good. So hopefully they use Drusilla in future things, because she was a really cool character, and I would love to see Given, especially in the movies, because the only Given we've seen in the movie was at the Mos Eisley Cantina, and I'd love to see him communicate using math, which was one of my favorite parts of the book, by the way, just how much math Drusilla used. But I mean, other than that, this book did set up a few things. First of all, Nakiri helped Luke kind of with his ability to use the Force, which he wasn't, I don't want to say he wasn't comfortable with before, but the only one who could help him use the Force before was Obi-Wan, and now Obi-Wan's dead, and he hasn't talked to him since the Battle of Yavin, and now Luke's all distraught, this sucks, blah, 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 I don't know what to do. I don't know about any Force users. He gets his green lightsaber. He gets to talk to the Rodian. By the way, when he talks to the Rodian, we get a couple references to the Clone Wars. One was an off-screen thing where Anakin had actually ended up saving this Rodian who Luke gets a lightsaber from. So, this happened during the Clone Wars, of course, but they're like, oh yeah, Anakin was the best pilot. They also made reference to the part of the Clone Wars where Obi-Wan came to Rhodia to for the captured baby at the beginning of season 2 of the Clone Wars, you know, they made reference to that, which I thought was actually really cool, because like that part involved Cad Bane, which was a Clone Wars really only character, and it involved Obi-Wan, not Anakin, and it was just really cool how they mentioned that. And I think that there may have been a couple other mentions to the Clone Wars, but I really like these subtle nods to that they're doing to the Clone Wars. I know that the Tarkin book, even though I got the Tarkin book, haven't read it, it's bored the heck out of me, but that made a huge reference to the Clone Wars with Ahsoka, and now this book made a few references, which was really nice. So there was Nakiri helping Luke learn how to use the Force, and then there was also Nakiri, when she died, Luke went and got her body and everything, and then he could finally grieve. He grieved for Nakiri, which he missed so much. He grieved for Obi-Wan Kenobi, he grieved for Biggs, he grieved for Beru and Owen. I mean, he grieved for all these people who he never grieved for in the movies, which is one of the things I really like about this new canon, because it looks like the Leia comic series is setting up to have her grieve over the destruction of her planet, and this book had was set up Luke to grieve over the loss of all of his friends and his family. So I mean, this book and the Leia comic series did something that the old canon had I don't believe that the old canon had ever done, and kind of give these characters, I don't want to say more depth, but show more emotion for these characters and make them more likable and stuff. Like, after reading this book, I have so much more respect for Luke. I see that he's actually an emotional person. He's actually human. And this book just really, Kevin Hearne just really portrayed Luke, like, very well, and actually made him a lot more likable than he was in any of the movies. I'm not going to say any of the old books, because I haven't really read too many of the post-Return of the Jedi books, but the ones I have read have, you know, I guess done an okay job with Luke. But this book has done like an incredible job giving Luke character development, and even though it's, you kind of know where it's going and how it's going to end, Luke's going to be fine and everything, it's still a really important book for Luke Skywalker as a character, and a bunch of stuff that happens in the movies, like him grieving for his friends, getting the lightsaber, learning how to use the Force. This was just a very, I guess, pivotal character development for Luke that was much needed within the past 30 years. But yeah, so I've been rambling on now. I thought that this book was incredible, and I would recommend anyone who is kind of on the edge to definitely read this, because it was really good. And I guess it kind of starts off kind of slowish, and there are parts every now and then that are slow in the book, but for the most part it picks up and it does not stop going. This book just all around was really incredible, and I really appreciated it as a whole, both from what Kevin Hearne has contributed to the Star Wars universe as of this book. I don't know if he's done anything else, and Luke Skywalker as a character. So yeah, I would definitely recommend go pick up and read this book. I don't think it is as good as A New Dawn, because that really interested me, and I guess that's just up to personal preference, because I'm more of a fan of the characters of like Kanan and Hera and Ahsoka than I am of Luke. I know, blasphemy in some people's ears, but if you're more of a fan of Luke, then this will probably be your favorite book in the new I guess new canon novels. And if you're, you know, a fan of Kanan and Rebels and everything, then New Dawn would be good. And I guess if you're a fan of Tarkin, that boring book Tarkin might be good. But either way, this has also recanonized quite a few things. I think I've mentioned the Given thing, but there's also like a planet name of one of the species that's in the movies that I saw. So that was recanonized. That's really good that they did that too. I'm gonna stop before I ramble, but yeah, once again, I recommend reading this to any Star Wars fan who actually likes Luke at all. So that's pretty much gonna be it for my review. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to subscribe for more reviews of you know, Star Wars, Halo, The Walking Dead. There's comics, action figures, books, movies, video games, all that awesome stuff right here in this channel. So thank you for watching, and until next time, Boba7772 out.